Hi friends. So today let us start with class 10 political science chapter 2 federalism. In this chapter we shall find the answers to following questions. First, what is federalism? Second, what is the criteria for calling a country as a federal country? Third, is India a federal country? Fourth, how is federalism practiced in India? And fifth, what is decentralization and what is the role of local governments in India? The first three questions will be answered in the first video, and the fourth and fifth questions will be answered in the second video. So first, let us understand what is federalism. So federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. So in simple language, federalism means that there should be two or more than two levels of government in the country. Now, do you remember the story of Belgium and Sri Lanka, which we read in the first chapter? In that, we saw that one of the main changes that Belgium made was to reduce the power of the central government and give it to the state government. Such a system is known as federal system of government. But in Sri Lanka, all the powers were with the central government and state government did not have any power. Such a system is known as unitary system of government. So now let us see the main differences between unitary system and federal system of government. In unitary system, there is only one level of government, or there are some subunits or provincial governments, but these subunits are dependent or answerable to the central government. But in federal system, there are more than one level of government. For example, in India, there are three levels of government: central, state and local. In unitary system, the central government can pass orders to the provincial or state government. But in federal system, the central government can't order the state government. In unitary system, the state governments or the provincial governments have no power. But in federal system, the state governments have a power of its own and it is not answerable to the central government. Examples of unitary system are Sri Lanka, and federal system are Belgium and India. So now let us see the key features of federalism. So how will we decide that whether a country is federal or not? For this it will have to satisfy these features of federalism. First feature is that for a federal country, in that country there should be two or more levels or tiers of a government. For example, in India, there are three tiers of government: central, state and local, in which there is panchayat in villages and municipal corporations in cities. Second, the different tiers of government govern the same citizens, but each has its own jurisdiction or area of control. So for example, if you are a resident of a city in India, then you are governed by the municipal corporation of that city, as well as by the state government of your state, and as well as by the central government of the entire nation. But each has its own area of control. For example, the state government controls the police, while the central government controls the army or the defense of the entire nation. Third, the jurisdictions of each level of government are specified in the constitution. So the constitution tells us which level of government will control which department of government. For example, that is the powers of government are decided by the constitution. Fourth, the fundamental provisions of the constitution can't be changed by one level of the government, and such changes require the consent of all the levels of government. Fifth, the court acts as an umpire if any disputes arise among different tiers of the government. Sixth, the sources of revenue for each level of government are specified by the constitution. And seventh, the federalism various levels of government have two main objectives. First is to promote unity, and second is to accommodate regional diversity. So now we have come to the third question, that is, what are the types of federalism? So there are two types of federalism. First, coming together federalism, and second, holding together federalism. First, let us discuss about coming together federalism. So in coming together federalism, many independent states come together to form a bigger unit. And all these states have equal powers, and the state and central government are also equally powerful. And this type of federalism is practiced in countries such as United States of America, Switzerland and Australia. So now let us discuss about holding together federalism. In this, a large country decides to divide its power between the state government and the central government. And in this, the states have unequal powers. So some few states are very powerful while other states are less powerful. For example, in India, the state of Jammu and Kashmir is more powerful than the other states, and it even has its own constitution. And in the holding together federalism, the central government is more powerful than the state government. And such type of federalism is practiced in India, Belgium and Spain. So in the previous sections, we came to know that India is a federal country. So now let us see what makes India a federal country. First point is that Constitution declared India as a union of states, and Indian Union is based on the principles of federalism. And second is that India has three different tiers of government. We have already discussed this in the previous sections. Third, different tiers of government have separate powers, and these powers are clearly specified in the Constitution in the form of lists. And we shall discuss about these lists later in the chapter. Fourth, India is a holding together type of federalism. So each state doesn't have equal power. Few states are very powerful while other states have very little power. For example, the state of Jammu Kashmir is more powerful than the other states, and it has its own constitution, and non-permanent residents cannot buy land here. Similarly, some states such as Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, Daman and Diu, Dadra Nagar Haveli, etc. enjoy very less power. They do not have the power of a state and are ruled by and are controlled by the central government. Such states are known as union territories. Fifth, it is not easy to make changes to this power sharing arrangement. Any change to it has to be first passed by both the houses of parliament with at least 2/3 of majority. Then it has to be passed by the legislatures of at least half of the states. Sixth, in cases of disputes between the state and central government, the Supreme Court and the High Court give the final verdict. So as India follows all the conditions necessary for federalism, India is a federal country. So now let us see the three main lists in Constitution which specify the powers of the different tiers of government. The first list is Union List, and this list includes the subjects of national importance, and only the central government can make laws related to these subjects. And these subjects include defense of the country, banking, currency, foreign affairs, etc. Second, state list. So this includes the subject of state and local importance, and only the state government can make laws related to it. For example, police, agriculture, trade, commerce, etc. Third, concurrent list. These include the subjects of common interest to both the state and the center. And both the state and the central government can make laws relating to them. For example, education, forests and marriage. And in case there is a dispute among the laws made by the state and the central government, that the law made by the central government is given the preference. Now, what about the subjects which were not included in these three lists? For these subjects, we have a separate list known as residual list. And this list includes subjects which don't fit in any of the three above lists, or the subjects which came up after the constitution was made, and only the central government can make laws related to them. And such subjects include computer software, etc.
So this is all for today. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.